Right Track, which is a Children's Society project, was set up in 1998, actually working with young people. It was started because of young people in the community complaining to a previous project we had around the unfairness of the stop and search figures. It was black young people saying they were stopped and searched too much. We work through a process of mentoring. We feel that for young people it's really valuable to have a trusted adult in their lives who will listen to them.
Why is it people think my attitude's different because of my colour?
I am proud. Justice is the equal balance of black and white people.
Racism. Why does the colour of our face make us different? Sorry,
Me and my friends were walking through Bristol. Most of them were like my age and some older. And it was a really nice day and we were all happy, laughing about, having a joke. And then suddenly we just heard shouting and we turned around and it was a couple of white guys, like 18 and older, and they were calling us niggers and black bitches and black this and all this stuff. It was just shocking because they were white and we've never had like people like saying stuff like that to us before. And I saw this glass fly towards me and I was really shocked and I just froze and I was just thinking like, why would they want to do this? Then we started hearing like police sirens and then the men just kind of like walked up the road like it was nothing, like it wasn't them that did anything. And there must have been so many witnesses because it was a Saturday afternoon and there was just loads of people around. And then we walked around the corner and we saw the police chatting to one of the men that threw the glass at us. And then like I recognised him straight away and then I went to go over and like, because I was kind of happy that they got one of the men, and then I went over to say like it was us that they threw it at and that is one of the men. And then the policeman was like, oh, can you just go away? And then we were like, don't you need us to write a statement or something? And they were like, no, just go away. And when the police said that, I felt like I was just really confused and then I was like shocked again, like they're just gonna let someone off for doing that. And yeah, and it just like really hurt me that the police would do something like that. And this has left me feeling like you can't trust no one really. And if they didn't want to help like a young person from like loads of older men, then I just think they're out of order. Because if that was their own kids, then I'm sure they would want someone to help them.
Well, this is actually the first time that we've actually got to say something that somebody would actually listen to us. So like that's kind of like a good thing for us, because if we didn't have this chance right now, no one would probably like understand how we feel or anything like that. So,
and like it's not even that, like this is the first time anyone's ever asked me like about like this racist stuff. Like no one don't ever ask. Like in school I've had plenty of mentors and everything and they should at least like ask me if I feel the same as other people, but they don't. They just think I do, but I don't.
You don't really know, like, say you have like a white teacher, like, not being racist again, but I just want to say, and, if we had like a white teacher and we didn't know if they were like racist, if they had a problem with our colour, or anything like that, so that we could do like one single thing wrong and they'd be like, right, after school detention, principal's detention, anything like that. But if we have a black teacher and like another, like a white person says something racist to us or something that we find offensive, they'd be like, well, I understand how you feel because this has happened to me in the past or something like that, because they probably most likely experienced things that we are experiencing now.
Yeah, that's like another thing. Like if you think like someone's being racist or something, yeah, and you go to a teacher and say to a teacher, they won't deal with it. They'll just tell you like, oh, just ignore it. But like, how are you meant to ignore that when someone's putting you down because of your colour? That's just not right.
Well, it's like when we like see this like happening, like in our school or something, we feel like this big and they're just like this big. So it's like we're like the odd ones out or something.
Yeah, Mr. Warnock's my mentor, and he's just over safe and like, and he will do like as much as he can to help the situation, and like he's just over understanding and stuff, and I just know he's not like a racist teacher as well, because he's like one of them teachers that like love black kids basically, like, and he like wants to help you and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you think that BME young people face unseen difficulties like a level playing field? In other words, is exclusion based on fair assessment?
I think our black students bring in a range of issues with them into school that make them somewhat different from some of our white middle-class students. I can agree wholeheartedly with what Mr. Martin said about all our students being treated equally. But I think as we become more enlightened about BME issues, I think we need to start thinking about how we treat our black students perhaps a little bit differently, a bit more compensatory really, to think about how we can actually overcome some of the issues that they face on a day-to-day basis and some of the issues they face outside school. My view is that if and when we are very, very honest with parents and we give the parents the full information about the situation and what's happened, I think the parents are very, very supportive of us. And I think a lot of the issues that we faced in the past are now being alleviated because we're having very good dialogue with our black parents. And that's what makes a difference.
What advice would you offer to BME young people if they feel that an injustice is taking place?
You mustn't take it into your own hands. What you've got to do is you've got to be able to support the students. When I see a black student, I tend to listen twice as hard because sometimes I'm not fully aware of the issues that they're bringing, coming back to what I was saying about some of the things that they need support with. And then I tend to take time and show the student that there's time to listen. And because I do that, people come and talk to me and feel comfortable about talking to me in the same way as you do with Mr. Martin. I think that's really, really important. And my advice is that you don't have to speak to anyone. You speak, in particular, you just speak to someone you feel really comfortable with, you discuss the issues with them and allow them then to support you. And I think if you do that, you can then bring all the issues into the open. It's when you don't talk about the issues that the problems start.
Do you think enough training is offered to teachers regarding BME issues?
Initially, in initial teacher training, I don't think there is, but we've done a lot of, as Dave said, we've done a lot of training here at Cottam, and I think there is in need of more, and we will be doing more training. And I think what happens then is when we do have the training, it becomes freshened in our mind and it enables us to help our BME students even more. I think what we don't do and what we're not very good at is promoting culture, and I think that needs to come from the students as well, is how we promote the culture of our BME students. We've got a lot of different BME students from a lot of different places. In fact, I think there's somewhere in the region of 39 different home languages spoken at Cottam, and some of them, even as inclusion manager, I've never come across. So I think it's about how we keep on getting the information, spreading the information to all the staff, so the staff understand just where our students are coming from.
Well, let me ask you a question then. So, because why can't I talk to your mother on a regular basis? I'm not saying I don't, but why can't I talk to your mother on a regular basis? Why does she feel it difficult to come into school? What is different out there for you as opposed to somebody else?
No, because do you see there's people think that there's racial segregation going on, like St. Paul's is like a black area and then Clifton's like a white area. Maybe she feels that if she comes up, she wouldn't fit in, because all around here you got big houses, you got nice cars in it, and you're all, you okay? And it's all like a perfect site and then it just don't fit in.
No, I'm saying, no, when you say posh, I'm not on about the value of the houses or the type of the houses. It's the people that live in the houses. So but you guys would have picked that up. So you've been coming to school for 12 months, up to 3 years now. This place, when you start walking up here, you don't suddenly cross a line and then say, this
You
is
do.
posh. Well, I don't think...
Nine Tree Hill. At the top it's all golden, at the bottom it's all dirt. That's the thing.
Walking into a posh area. And
No, but if you're like chatting to people and they're like, oh, what school do you go to? Then like Cotton. They're like, ain't that washout school?
In it, exactly.
And you're just like, what? They're like,
what's that? Sorry, washout.
washout, black washout, like black people that.
Acting posh, basically. And they're like, it's like, coconut bounty. If like you...
There's a lot of parents who are the parents of BME students who live not in St Paul's but in the outlying areas, whose children go to schools where they're very much in the minority, and now choosing to send their children to Cotton because they see it as being a high achieving school that does well for black students.
What advice would you give me when I leave school?
Don't come out of education. That's all I know really for now. Don't leave your education, and from you can get it free, get as much as you can out of it. As a young black woman growing up, you've got it bad really. Not really, because you can show them that you can be something. Because obviously being a woman, people put you down, and then being black, they'll put you down again. But there's bare people that's out there doing their thing, really. As long as you know what you want to do, you leave school, you get your qualifications, and you just head towards it. Nothing can stop you apart from yourself, really.
For me, it was a sharp reminder that actually these messages haven't changed. I can remember as a young person going to school and having similar experiences. So what you were hearing from your teachers there in school were experiences, when they were talking about people living outside on the edges of Bristol, in the outer suburbs of Bristol. I was actually living more central Bristol, North Bristol, and going to a school in Clifton. A friend and I were the only 2 black children in the school. I can remember at 5 years old having my hands and my arms licked because they really thought they were chocolate. And those sort of experiences have never gone away. Walking across the Downs, walking across Bristol, and people shouting out of their vans, those horrible names, And that you, as young people, hear those same names, are called those same things today, sort of 30 years on. And people before me experienced the same things. So, 2 generations and it's not changed. There could be times when certainly in respect of racism, I take it to heart, and because it's a real experience for me. And if we think of all forms of discrimination, where we're talking about people of difference, and people highlighting those differences with negative attitudes, I would say that we could have had similar experiences. People who are not black, won't understand it because they're not black, and that's it. But they will experience other forms of discrimination that maybe you and I don't experience. And so it's us all being mindful of the experience of others.
When I see people hurt, I think, why do they deserve to be in such pain? And nobody deserves to be in pain.
Just do it again.
She didn't have to say.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're black or white.
You can achieve no matter who you were, or what colour you are, or if you're different from anyone else. It's not hard, you just have to believe in yourself, and then yeah, you'll be able to do it. And I'm sure of that because I've done it. Yeah.
Well, I'm doing really well in all of my subjects, and I try my best to get the job that I want when I leave school and go to university and succeed in what I wanted to do since I was younger. And so far, I've kind of succeeded halfway in that.
When I'm old, I'm going to look back on myself and I'm going to think, well done, Kia, for achieving. Is that it?